It's time to swarm the 402. Welcome to the Nebraska Hawkeyes. These guys are brave. They're Hawkeyes living in enemy territory. Listen, these guys are way past their prime, but they're still Hawkeyes. They're spreading the Hawkeye hype to all of Nebraska. The frost advisory is canceled. Cornhuskers? More like corn suckers. Are you ready for this podcast? Let's go Hawks!
All right. Welcome back to the Nebraska Hawks Nest, your Hawkeye oasis located in a Nebraska desert. We got a real treat today, guys. Something new, something fresh. They're in their off season, so they kind of had a little bit of time they could squeeze us in. We have a couple representatives from the University of Iowa men's ice hockey program. We have head coach Kevin Brooks. Sir, how are you?
Good. Glad to be here.
We're excited to have you. And then winger / center, plays a little bit of both. Zach Lepori. Zach, how are you doing, man?
Thanks for having me on. I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right, Zach. So for those that don't know, tell us your responsibilities on the ice with like a winger and a center, all of that. Like what are your responsibilities when you're out there?
Yeah, so as a winger, we're just in control of mainly the offensive zone and controlling the pressure down in the offensive zone, but also helping out the D and the defensive zone when the puck gets dumped into our own end and we start defending. It's our job to block shots and really help the D get us the puck, get an open ice, and break out of the zone. But
okay,
we play a very fast game too, so it helps not playing much in the defensive zone.
Yeah. Okay. And now, Coach, I want to dig into initially because we're trying to, do some baseline education for all of us that don't know about the Iowa men's ice hockey program and what league you guys play in. So I have the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Okay.
Yep.
In the Division II of that currently. Can you walk us through what that league's like, what it's like to play in that league, and maybe some of the rivals that you guys go up against?
Yeah, I mean it's super competitive. I started back with this program about 12 years ago. Been on and off with it. Took some time away for family stuff. Came back, and it's the level. It has gone leaps and bounds. There is the amount of kids, the talent that we have. We have kids coming that have played in some of the highest junior leagues. We have AAA hockey. That's it. We have AA hockey. We get a lot of kids. For us personally here at Iowa, we get a lot of kids from Illinois. But then we also are going after some junior hockey kids who are playing around the country. We got a kid who played in Oregon. We got a kid that played down in Oklahoma. We've had kids from Florida, California.
Wow.
So we're recruiting just as an NCAA program. And what it is I mean, it's the same route. We're playing a 30+ game schedule. It's set up like if you win your league, you get an auto bid. We're going through rankings every 2 weeks. And if you're ranked in, it's, when it's not like a bowl game, but it's kind of set up just like the Frozen Four, where we're going in, you go to win 2 games at regionals, and then you're off to a couple years ago. Well, COVID year would have been in Boston, but it's been out in Dallas. It's been in Minnesota. It's all over the country. And our league is paired up with the NHL. So our national tournament is being partnered with the NHL.
Wow, that's really cool. Okay. And so I can't help but think too, with all of this travel, to away games and with recruiting and different things like that, what type of things does the university and the athletic department do to support you guys?
It varies school to school. Some of the smaller schools, I'll use a team like Maryville University. They're treated like a varsity sport. So they got their coaches are fully staffed, full-time, benefits, the whole 9 yards. A program like us, where we've got football. We've got wrestling.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of a stipend that comes over, and it changes a little bit every year. Our players do pay a little bit. But for most of us, it's donations. We're going out, and perfect example is today we had an old player of ours that's doing really well, and he decided he wanted to set up an automatic payment for as long as our program is existing, he's going to donate $5,000 to the program.
Wow.
We have other people that are doing that, and we're in the works. We've worked with different donors over the year that come in and have taken really good, very good care of our program.
Nice. And coach, if anybody that's listening wants to get involved and help out the program, because we have the NIL stuff going on right now with football and other sports, and you guys are no different. You need support, financial support to be able to run a program as well. What can people do to reach out and help you guys?
I would say just visit our website, our contact information, myself, or Lester Griffin, our general manager. He's tremendous. He's actually owned junior hockey programs, have been around the hockey world for a very long time, and just reach out to one of us, because we're, with a program like us, it means a lot to us, whether it's a small or it's something that can be really changing for our program. It really goes a long way, and 100% of it goes directly into our kids, into our program.
Awesome. All right, Zach, I got a really serious question for you here. Now, just pretend coach isn't listening. It's just you and me talking. Who are those one or two programs that when you play, the blood pressure goes up a little bit, your blood maybe starts to boil, you just want it a little bit more? Give me a couple of those schools.
Well, obviously, you try to treat every game like that and like a rivalry game, but some major schools that stand out to me, Iowa State, we always have a huge rivalry with them every year. They're a very competitive team. They're treated as well, like high class D1 team. And so going over there, we usually split a home and away game with them. Unfortunately, we're not doing that this year, but that's always been competitive in the past. And another team that really we have a great rivalry with is honestly Illinois State. That team, we battle with them every year. We often see them in playoffs and have to battle it out with them. But and coming from Illinois myself, I know a lot of players on that team, and I know a handful of my teammates know some people on the Illinois State team. So whenever there's guys that know each other out there, you always want to beat them, and you always want to put up a good game.
All right, coach, what about you? Is there any of those rivalry games that just you're like, all right, guys, this is, there's the ones as coaches, as the years progress, you start to develop a little bit of a more of a rivalry with it. You want a little bit more. I know, like talking to the football guys that are like, hey, that game week when Coach Ferris is talking to us, we know there's the way he acts and the way he addresses the team. There's certain ones he kind of wants a little bit more than the other ones. Not that he doesn't want the other ones. You want them all, but those one or two that just really get you going.
Yeah. Iowa State's the given. If you're wearing the black, that's just, we don't even have to talk about that. I will say it has changed with me being over with the program for so long, because you develop a rivalry with the team, but you also develop a little rivalry with the coach.
Yeah.
And some of those coaches are no longer in their program, so it's switched up a little bit. I will say ISU, Illinois State, we do have those games mean a lot for me, just because one, I have a lot of respect for their coach. It's a good rivalry. We work really, really well together. We're on the board of the league together. But we also go after the same players. So when you square up, we were both fighting for one of those guys. And when you've got one of your guys that scores the game winner, or the goalie that made, it's kind of a little wink over to the bench, and he's a great guy. And but like Zach was saying, we are always interchanging with them throughout the year in the standings, and we always see them in the playoffs.
That's great. It does. With this being Nebraska Hawks, does Nebraska have any sort of hockey team over there at all?
They do. They're just at the D3 level.
Okay.
They do have they do have a good program. Their coach that they had forever just stepped down, and he had a really good program. But yeah, they're very competitive at the Division 3 level.
So I got to tell you guys, this is a pretty frivolous question / statement. You guys have the sickest uniforms in all of hockey. Whoever's designing these things, like, you should go get a job for Nike or Under Armour. It's nutty how cool they are. Every time anybody sees them, I want one of those jerseys. Those are the sickest things ever. What do you guys go through to design these awesome jerseys? And a lot of people want to know, is there going to be an opportunity to be able to purchase those again in the future?
Yeah, yes, there is. We're working on that right now, to get them out there. It was a little it's always touch and go. You're trying new vendors and different things, and we
Yeah.
want to work for everybody. So we are working on that. When it comes to the design, honestly, we've let the players have a lot of input in it.
Oh,
As coaches, we've designed, you know, we usually have final say. There's been some
yeah.
times I'm like, hey, I like that, or because we've had times where we've had third jerseys, we got home and away in our thirds, different things like that. And I mean, every team we play, they tell us, they'll be like, wow, you guys got the sickest jerseys in the league. You guys,
Oh, yeah.
all this stuff. But we really do. We lean a lot on our seniors. And because it's their year, they've paid their dues. Like, what do you want? You're the ones that have to don that jersey every night. How do you want to look?
Yeah, look good, play good. Those cream colored ones that say Hawkeyes
Yeah.
across. Oh my gosh, man, the coolest jersey I've ever seen. Football, any sport, that is the one. That's one that's like you look at and it's got a little retro feel to it, but it's just Zach's smiling. Like, Zach, did you have a hand in like making that one be one of your jerseys?
That was prior to me coming here. That was my first jersey I received, and I was ecstatic, of course. And it's funny because all my friends that played on the team in the past, they'll be wearing them out, and like all our friend group will be like wearing them out on the town, and everyone's like getting the look like, do you play for the hockey team? And they're always just like, oh, yeah, sure. But they love the jersey so much, and everybody loves it. Loves wearing it. We got a couple of them hung up in my apartment here.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, hey, that's great. You guys get to look good when you're out there playing. It's a little bit of a reward for all the hard work that you get to put in. So
Exactly.
that's great. Now, I want you guys to tell me, we'll start with you, Coach, about the Extreme Arena, everything that's going into that. I haven't been there yet, but from what I'm reading, there's going to be women's volleyball there. You guys are going to be playing there sometimes. Tell us about it, what it's like to play there, and what the fan experience might be like.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously trying to build the fan experience to get that. I mean, it's a big arena, it holds 5,000 fans. But I will say, and I'll let Zach speak to this on more because he's got the, be the player on the ice, and experience it there. They treat us great. We go in there, they got the light show, we got the big screen going. You're in a semi-pro rink, you're in an East Coast Hockey League rink that's brand new. And the location you can't beat. And they do, I mean, there's a lot going on. There's always stuff going on there, but they run it the right way. So when we go in there, our goal is just to get more fans in there, because once fans go in there, they're selling adult beverages. So if people want to indulge in that, they get the stands open, and we'll have merchandise. And like I said, you got the light shows going, the music's going, and you're in such a nice facility. I mean, you can't beat it.
The only thing better than watching live hockey is watching live hockey with a beer in your hand. I mean, that's all there is to it. So, Zach, I don't know if you're 21 yet, so I don't know if you could partake, but tell us about what it's like playing in that arena as a player, how much you've enjoyed it, and what that experience has been like compared to other venues that you've played.
It's unbelievable. And when we get the chance to play there, it's definitely one of the best arenas in the ACHA conference. And there's no doubt in my mind when I say that. It's unbelievable. It's top class. They have everything built out down there. The locker rooms are phenomenal. Getting to walk out on the ice from below the stands is something that brings me back to my high school days playing at the United Center. Like it's amazing, and it gives you an all-star atmosphere to really play in, and for the fans to pack in and enjoy it.
All right, I'm going to get over there this year for a game, so at least one. I'm pretty excited to check it out. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Coach, I'm really intrigued by the recruitment and getting players to come play at the University of Iowa for the hockey program. Tell us a little bit about your recruiting philosophy. What type of players you're looking for? Is there any geography involved where you're like, hey, I know this pocket of this state has, puts out a lot of good players? What type of things go through your mind when you're looking for a potential Iowa Hawkeye?
I mean, for us, we recruit, and it's always been my philosophy. We recruit the person and the athlete second. One of the first things when I talk to a player's coach, how is he in the locker room? How does he get along? Does he have a letter on his jersey? Does he want to take over the locker room? And is he that kind of person that everybody's drawn to?
Yeah.
So after you check those boxes, for me as a player, it's play fast. Do you have fun out there? Because I'll joke around and say I always want the guy that wants to score the goal. And, obviously, and that's not meaning that I want somebody that wants to, the leading scorer on their team. I want the guy that's out there that's having fun. Like I always look at like Alexander Ovechkin for an example. That man loves the game of hockey, and he loves when you love what you're doing, the game is easy. In regards to the geography, obviously with Illinois being right up the road, it's super easy for me to get on that. But with my background, I've been in the junior hockey game for over 10 years. So recruiting, I know so many coaches, and we develop those relationships where, we've scratched each other's back in the past. So reaching out to coaches, it's actually great now where have such a good name here at the Hawkeye program. Coaches call me now. I will go to a couple of tournaments or send one of my assistants to a tournament. But for the most part, I have these relationships with certain teams that they're calling me right away, pushing their guys here. And
Nice.
Lupo can kind of talk about it because I recruited him and his line mate, the dynamic duo. And they had Kentucky knocking on the door and all these other, and he'll tell you, I just hounded him. I got him on campus. I was like, this is where you need to be. And, you show your true colors too. That's everything. There's no false promises. It's, hey, get out here. I mean, if you get on the Iowa campus and you don't fall in love with you, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
But then when you're out there with the boys and you see how it's going, it usually becomes an easy decision.
Cool. And so on the other side of that, Zach, kind of walk us through just briefly your process throughout your career playing hockey, what brought you to the University of Iowa, and your recruitment process, what Coach kind of referred to. What was that like, and what other schools were you considering?
Yeah, so I've been playing hockey my whole life. My dad got me into it at a very young age, and played my whole life. And then into high school, I was playing AA hockey, and also double rostered for my high school team. So I was playing about like 100 to 120 games a year in high school, and it was a grind, but it was awesome. I loved it. When it came to think about school, I knew I wanted to, my mom wanted me to go juniors, and I was like, no, I don't really want to. And there's a route you can go where you can play juniors really, and then go like very high Division I if you want, if you have the ability to. But I was looking for something a little bit less than that, and just wanted to go to school and start my education right away. So coming out of high school, I was looking at like schools like Alabama. I wanted to go to a bigger school that still had a hockey team that was very competitive. So I was looking at like Alabama, Kentucky, as Coach said. But I mean, Iowa being so close to Illinois and so close to these hockey hubs that you get out of Chicago, it's a very convenient Big Ten school that I fell in love with the campus right away. Talking to Brooks, we had an amazing team my freshman year coming into it, and so it was hard to say no to that. And being 3 hours away from my home, I love that even more.
All right, guys, this is the hard part. I tried to prep you a little bit. I didn't give you much time, so this is my fault. But we always love to hear the good locker room stories, something like a joke or shenanigans or something that, like we had talked about, that behind the scenes stuff, like with Hard Knocks and things like that. Fans love hearing that type of stuff and seeing it, and it makes you feel like you're part of the program. What are some ridiculous things that you can share with the public that have happened in the locker room? Because we all know there's stuff that's like, yeah, maybe we better not share that one. We'll keep that one tucked away and just between us on the team. But what's like maybe one or two funny stories that have happened that you guys kind of look back and chuckle about?
So I'll let Loops. I'll give you a minute here to think about a good one. I got two fairly good ones that are,
Okay.
I think we had one. This is kind of it's just if you knew the person, we do some fun stuff on the bus and on the way home or to a game and different things like that. And we had a guy on our team who, he really doesn't say a lot. He usually sits and he's really he's got the laptop out, as soon as the game's over. I'm talking about Welchie here, Loops, and He jumps in the books and he's right in there. And we were doing a little karaoke for the rookies on the way home where they had to get up and sing a song. And out of the blue, this man just stood up, took his glasses off, and he sang it's not a very appropriate song, but the version of it was the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life. And he put his glasses back on and he sat right back down on the bus and pretended like nothing happened. The whole bus was going insane. And it's like, that's what I say. You recruit the guy, like the chemistry. And then a funny story that we had is we went to Florida Gulf Coast, played Florida Gulf Coast for a year. And we went down there and it's over Christmas break. And, we fly down there. We're suiting up for our first game. And my assistant captain comes walking out of the locker room, and he looks at me and he's like, I got some bad news for you. I was like, what do you got for everybody? Forgot his shin pads.
Ooh.
It's like, oh, all right. So went to one of the scratches and I was like, can I get your shin pads? You know, and he wears the shin pads, comes walking out before the national anthem. That's some more bad news for you, coach. So the guy forgot my helmet.
What?
I was like, what? Did you know where you were going? And it's just he took some heat for that. But we have a lot of those kind of stories where it's just you look at your guys and you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, what? You had one job, bring your hockey bag.
No, you're dealing with college kids, you know, just like,
yeah, and then they never live it down.
no, you have to. I mean, that's the mark of a good program. If you do something like that, you got to give them crap for it. You can't let them off the hook that easy.
No, God, no.
Zach, what do you got for us, man? Anything good?
One that I've been thinking about that comes to mind is we got guys. My freshman year was a great experience for me, and it was a lot of fun, and we had some great times. But one thing we would have guys like late for the bus, and so we'd be pulling out. They'd be racing in the parking lot for an away game, and so we take this trip down to San Diego my freshman year. And knowing guys are missing the bus, it's like, are these guys going to get on the plane once we're even at O'Hare? And so we're walking around and we got like guys running to make the plane. And then guys, once we're on the plane, they're just like passed out and we get there and they're like still sleeping. And I'm like, let's go, guys. Come on. It's just we weren't the best travel-oriented team that year. Let's just say that.
We had a rule. It said the bus waits for nobody. So we would literally, you see guys running with their hockey bag right in front of Coral Ridge Mall, trying to catch the bus. So we could, and I'd mess with tell the bus driver, like, hey, just do a hot lap around the parking lot. So we make them think we took off.
That's awesome.
That gives the scare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good though. You got to keep them honest. That's great. When you guys are on campus throughout the year, what are your favorite sporting events other than hockey to go check out? Maybe something that's your favorite, and maybe one that's like sneaky good that nobody really would have thought of.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first here. I mean, football obviously number one, but one thing I actually do love going to is the baseball games. I think those are really fun to go to, and some of the guys and I will go over there and watch some baseball for the day. And it's a fun experience.
Very cool. I got to watch them. I'm in Omaha, so I got to watch them play in the Big Ten baseball tournament here.
That's awesome.
Try to go every year. It's a lot of fun. It's cool. You guys, if you get a chance, you should come over and check it out. It's essentially turns into an Iowa home game. There's more Hawkeye fans there than anybody. So I'd say it's about 80% Hawkeye fans, and then just like a few others sprinkled in throughout. All right, Coach, what's your favorite and maybe like a sneaky good one?
Yeah, I mean, I love the football because and you know what? Obviously, I love the games, but I just love the atmosphere, the tailgating. Where I mean, it's like you're partying with I don't even know how many people, and they're all your best friend. As long as you got the right colors on, it doesn't matter. You're getting a free hot dog, a beer, and a hug, like that's the Iowa way, you know. And so there's that. But I am actually we're a very large soccer family. So I love men's and women's soccer. You'll find me there on the weekend sometimes if my kids don't have a game. We'll go there and check it out, and it's just there's just some unbelievable athletes on those teams, you know. And and I appreciate the sport so much with my kids playing it. It's great.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedules to sit down and tell us all about the University of Iowa men's ice hockey program. And when does the season officially begin? When can we kind of look forward to that?
Well, we're in it now. We're going to practice. I'm going to see Lupo here in about an hour and a half. We're going to be hitting the ice. We just wrapped up tryouts, so this is our first week of practice. Okay. We had to switch some games around, but our first game will actually be against rival Illinois State. Was it the 21st? I believe September 21st.
Oh, wow. So that's coming up.
Oh, we're in it. It's the time. It's now.
All right. Well, as fans, we need to get ready and get out and support you guys. So we really appreciate you guys taking time, and good luck this season. Kick some butt, and nothing but good health and great success this coming season, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, guys. Go Hawks.
Thank you.
Go Hawks.